Well, everyone, we have done it. We have made it to October 31st, Halloween, the last day of the first month of Q4. You know what that means? We have 2 more months ahead in a time that is historically a very bullish period for crypto. Does that mean October and December can be very good? Can this finally lift us out of these disgusting, horrible times that we've been in? We'll definitely talk about that in this video. Do want to talk about what happened yesterday, why we saw some extended red in the crypto market. But we also do need to talk about this double death cross that is about to take place for ADA. This is something that we have seen before, but it's something where it doesn't necessarily mean what people think it means. So if you are new or haven't already, show your support for the channel down below. Hit that subscribe button, that bell, it's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So if you guys may or may not know, I do take the time to read all the comments. I love engaging with the community. I love what people, seeing what people have to say. And people were really negative yesterday. A lot of people basically talking crap about ADA, trying to trash me. It doesn't really bother me at all. It's like I've talked about before. I have very thick skin, used to be a professional gamer, so I'd hear it all the time. But the problem is that a lot of people, they don't necessarily listen to what's said. A lot of people think I just have these continued, just endlessly bullish commentary where I don't see any red. And that's not true at all. In fact, yesterday we talked about specifically this. I was talking about this when ADA was at 63 cents. And I want you guys to listen here in the strength of these charts. And although that might mean that we have some more red and maybe we have some more downside as this progresses, it shows you that every time that we go through one of these resets and these resurgences, that ADA is growing and growing and growing. And that's exactly what we want to see, guys. Even though the charts are red, you want to continue to see fundamentals growing. You want to see them improving. And that's what we're seeing. Community growth, liquidity injections, whale accumulation. Even though we've had some days where whales have dumped, you're continuing to see this over the course of 2025, which has been a down year in the markets. And you eventually get to a point where you're done watching the assets move from the hands of the impatient to the hands of the patient. This is kind of this shuffle that we've been going through. They're trying to beat everybody down and get you to capitulate. And I see that some people have been doing it. And obviously you can do whatever you want. This isn't financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. It's not what we do here on the channel. But there are a lot of people that are going to kick themselves twice. One, for capitulating and just calling it quits and running away from crypto. But 2, missing out on the euphoric, exciting runs that come with adoption. Again, adoption is not something that just now is not coming to the markets, but understand what yesterday was nothing more than a leverage flush. All we saw yesterday, $749 million in long leverage liquidations. It was even more than that. I think the high of yesterday was like $1.2 billion in liquidations across the crypto space. So you're watching them just basically try to flush the market. And the problem is that, again, a lot of retail just continues to play with leverage. That's kind of our big problem here. People are thinking that they're smarter than the markets, and they'll try to move in really close to price. And then when we get an event like this that happens where ADA runs down to 58 cents, people are, stuck crashing out basically. Now, that being said, this is what we were fighting against, guys. We had some institutional selling again yesterday, still again, just the market being on a bit of a delayed fuse from the actual good news that we got in the middle of the week. Right now, institutional players have just been kind of dumping some bags. You guys can see BlackRock led the way. $118 million worth of Ethereum sold yesterday. $290 million worth of BTC sold yesterday. Understand that this will in fact calm down, because really all we've been getting is good news. Sometimes it takes just a little bit of time. It's all right. So we have to just be patient and let this play out. Okay. Now, that being said here, this I think is really important for people to hear. Dan Gambardello said people are giving up. I don't want to minimize that, but usually people give up from the fatigue at the end of bear markets, not the beginning of bear markets. And I said it's wild to me that people are missing this. Retail to fatigue, large positions growing in size, liquidity injections. These are all the things that we see before big upward movement, not the opposite. Right now, what we are seeing throughout the crypto market is these signs of a big upward movement coming. It doesn't mean it's going to be today. It doesn't mean it's going to be the hour this video launches. We could see more red before it happens. Just like I said yesterday, guys, what we are watching is a kind of a big reset, if that makes sense. We got our reset, right? And you're watching the last of it take place right here. What we're seeing right now is, one, Daily stochastic RSI actually started to get pushed to the downside. We had a bearish flip back here, right at our 20-day moving average, go figure. And you guys can see right now, this is accelerating towards the oversold range. If we're looking at the weekly, we're actually still in this oversold range as well. So you're getting a point where both on the daily and the weekly charts, we're sitting in this oversold range and we're waiting for a bullish flip to take place again. Coincidentally enough, the last time we had these two things taking place was all the way back here in April. Saw this right when we were hitting our bottom in the charts, and we obviously know what happened next. We got a nice surge and rally to the upside. But what I thought was interesting here as well is on the EMA, we have had a bear cross or a death cross. This took place actually back here on basically last week. Now, what's interesting about this is if we look at the SMA, you guys can see we are very close to a death cross there. So this would be a double death cross within almost a 10-day period. Now, we have had this before, and what you need to know is this typically means that we have either seen the bottom or we're about to see the bottom and a correction. All right, doesn't always play out this way, but again, interestingly enough, take a look back at April. Take a look at what we got here: a double death cross happening within a 10-day period. That was our surge to the bottom. That was when we got down to these April lows. And guess what? This kicked off a nice correction in the crypto market. This actually allowed ADA to run, 70%, I think at that time, 69%. Yeah, that's kind of what we're seeing. Similar fundamentals, similar things in the charts. It's all playing out pretty much the same way. And the biggest thing you need to do is just keep your emotions in check. My gosh, guys, again, I'm not a therapist, all right? I'm here to relay the information that we're seeing. And what we're seeing is good fundamentals, increasing liquidity. Although the sentiment may be terrible, guess what? Sentiment isn't terrible at tops. It's terrible at bottoms. That's the biggest thing you need to know. So I appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully this weekend we can show some stability. Actually, one thing I want to mention here is right now, we're sitting at this point where our rainbow regression curve is getting pretty close here. So we're eventually going to be at a point where ADA, if it does manage to touch it, it should bounce. It should be actually a good sending point for the next levels. I'm not saying we have to get down here, but right now, guys, even if ADA were to touch its rainbow regression curve, let's say today, you're talking about 53 cents. So people that are talking about, 30 cents and 20 cents, and I've seen some people say zero, those are prices that are probably long gone now, that we may never see again. So just something to think about. Appreciate you guys as always. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below, but have a great day. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.